Millions of Americans have become amateur body language experts, all focused on dissecting one woman's every move. That woman is Melania Trump, and her marriage has become the most analyzed relationship in American politics. But what are people really seeing when they watch her interactions with Donald Trump, and why can't we look away? Right now, as you're watching this video, somewhere on social media, someone is posting another clip of Melania Trump, zooming in on her facial expressions, measuring the distance between her and her husband, and drawing conclusions about their marriage. This isn't just casual gossip anymore. It's become a full-blown cultural phenomenon that reveals as much about us as viewers as it does about the first couple themselves. The latest obsession started with what should have been a moment of celebration. A 25-second clip from Trump's inauguration resurfaced recently, showing the president and first lady dancing at the Liberty Ball to the Village People's YMCA. You know the move, Trump's signature hand-pumping gesture while his knees bounce to the beat. But here's where it gets interesting. Nobody was talking about his dancing. Instead, millions of eyes were laser-focused on the space between them. She always maintains that polite 2-foot distance, as you would a stranger you can make. A hasty exit from one viral tweet observed. That single comment captured something that resonated with thousands of people who had been watching the same footage and feeling the same uncomfortable tension. But why does this matter so much to us? Think about it. When was the last time you analyzed your friends' marriages this intensely? When did we become so invested in reading between the lines of political couples' public appearances? The answer might surprise you, because it's not really about Melania and Donald Trump at all. The comments kept pouring in, each one more pointed than the last. "OMG, Melania is embarrassed," wrote one user, while another declared, "She does not want to be there with him." These aren't professional body language experts or relationship counselors. These are regular people who feel compelled to share their interpretations of what they're seeing on their screens. Here's where the speculation took a darker turn. One particularly viral comment read, "If Melania was a good woman, she would have divorced him on principle. The fact that she stays with him indicates to me that she is happy with his actions and decisions. If you stay with a bad person, you eventually become another version of them." Notice how quickly the conversation shifted from observing body language to making moral judgments about character and complicity. Others approached it from a more cynical angle. She was paid at least 7 figures for that. This comment reveals another layer of public fascination, the transactional nature that some perceive in high-profile political marriages. Are we watching love, duty, or something else entirely? But this inauguration video wasn't an isolated incident. It's actually the latest chapter in an ongoing saga that's been building for years. Back in April, social media exploded over a compilation video shared on the Unfiltered Veteran Instagram page. Set to Chaka Khan's "I'm Every Woman" with the sarcastic caption, "Relationship Goals." The montage highlighted moments over the past decade where cameras caught what viewers interpreted as visible disdain from Trump's third wife. These weren't hidden moments or private conversations leaked to the press. These were public appearances, official events, moments that were meant to project unity and strength. Yet viewers consistently found evidence of what they perceived as marital discord hiding in plain sight. The scrutiny intensified in May when Melania made a brief White House appearance for a Mother's Day ceremony honoring military mothers. While she was there to unveil a commemorative postage stamp for former First Lady Barbara Bush, her rare public appearance only raised more questions about her role during Trump's second term. Here's where the story gets even more intriguing. According to alleged insider sources familiar with the family, since Trump's return to the White House 108 days prior, Melania had spent fewer than 14 days there. Instead, she was reportedly splitting her time between their Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida and New York City, where their son Barron attends New York University. Think about that for a moment. In a typical presidency, the First Lady's presence at the White House is almost taken for granted. Yet here, we have a situation where her absence has become more notable than her presence. What does this tell us about modern political marriages, or about the unique pressures facing this particular couple? The timing of when this inauguration video resurfaced adds another fascinating layer to the story. It emerged during Trump's escalating public feud with Elon Musk, creating an almost surreal backdrop where personal and political dramas intersected on the same social media platforms. While the president and the tech billionaire exchanged increasingly hostile posts, with Musk even alleging Trump's connection to Jeffrey Epstein, millions of users were simultaneously dissecting Trump's marriage frame by frame. Some observers even suspected that the timing wasn't coincidental, wondering if algorithms were being manipulated to surface content that would distract from or complicate other narratives. In our hyper-connected digital age, nothing exists in isolation anymore. Every viral moment becomes part of a larger web of political and cultural commentary. This brings us to a crucial question. What are we really doing when we analyze these moments so intensely? Are we seeking truth, entertainment, or validation for our own political beliefs? The reality is probably all three, mixed together in ways that make it impossible to separate genuine concern from voyeuristic fascination. The phenomenon reveals something profound about how we consume political content in the social media age. We've become a nation of amateur psychologists, reading meaning into every gesture, every glance, every moment of apparent hesitation or discomfort. But are we actually seeing what's there, or are we projecting our own expectations and biases onto these public figures? Consider this. If you were in Melania Trump's position, knowing that millions of people were analyzing your every public appearance, measuring the distance between you and your spouse, and drawing conclusions about your private life based on split-second interactions, how would that change your behavior? Would you become more guarded, more conscious of every gesture? Would the constant scrutiny itself create the very distance that people claim to observe? The viral nature of these observations also raises questions about our collective relationship with privacy and celebrity. We've created a culture where public figures, especially political ones, are expected to perform their personal relationships for our consumption and judgment. Every public appearance becomes a referendum on their private lives. Every gesture, a potential source of controversy or confirmation bias. What's particularly striking about the Melania Trump phenomenon is how it transcends typical political divisions. People across the political spectrum seem equally fascinated by analyzing her body language and public demeanor, though they may draw very different conclusions from the same footage. This suggests that our interest goes beyond partisan politics, into something more fundamental about human relationships and power dynamics. The persistence of this scrutiny also highlights how our digital age has changed the nature of political observation. In previous eras, we might have seen these couples at carefully orchestrated events and accepted the official narrative. Now, with high-definition cameras, social media platforms, and the ability to endlessly replay and analyze footage, we've convinced ourselves that we can see behind the facade if we just look closely enough. But perhaps the most revealing aspect of this entire phenomenon is what it says about us as observers. Our fascination with the Trump marriage speaks to deeper questions about authenticity, power, and relationships in the public eye. We're drawn to moments that seem to reveal cracks in the polished exterior because they make these larger-than-life figures seem more human, more relatable, more like us. The truth is, we may never know what really happens behind closed doors. In any political marriage, what we're seeing in these viral moments might be genuine expressions of discomfort, or they might be the natural result of living under intense scrutiny, or they might be something else entirely. The distance we perceive might be physical positioning for cameras, personal preference, or the protective mechanism of someone who has learned that every gesture will be analyzed and criticized. Here's what we can say with certainty. The Melania Trump phenomenon has revealed our collective hunger for authentic moments in an increasingly manufactured political landscape. Whether we're seeing authenticity or simply projecting our own expectations onto carefully managed public appearances, our obsession with these moments tells a story about our relationship with power, celebrity, and truth in the digital age. We continue to watch, analyze, and debate these viral moments. Perhaps the most important question isn't what Melania Trump is really thinking or feeling, but what our obsession with knowing says about us. In a world where political theater often feels scripted and sanitized, we're desperately searching for moments of genuine human emotion, even if we have to read between the lines to find them. The next time you see one of these viral moments crossing your social media feed, take a moment to consider, are you seeing what's actually there or what you want to see?